Jehovah Elohim planted a garden in Eden in the east, and placed there the man whom he had formed.
Eden is a paradise of perfection. Eden is symbolic of the innocence and happiness that was once the natural state of humanity. The humanity of Eden was pure, knowing only goodness and virtue. As reflections of God, humanity embodied the 7 virtues of the soul. Although the Eden of Adam and Eve never existed in the 3-dimensional physical world, according to esoteric wisdom, there was a physical place called Eden that was located in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. A mystery school by the same name was founded in this place by the Chaldeans. But this was not the Garden of Eden of Adam and Eve. According to esoteric wisdom, there exist 7 fundamental dimensions.
Do you not know how Allah has created the 7 heavens, one above the other?
The ascent and descent through these realms by the beings that inhabit them is represented in the Bible by Jacob's ladder. The Bible states that when Jehovah Elohim created Adam, he placed Adam in the Garden of Eden. Esoteric wisdom states that this is the 4th dimension, the world of vital energy. In Hebrew, it is called Yesod, which means the foundation. Thus, the androgynous ancestor of humanity existed in a more subtle level of nature. That is why modern anthropologists know nothing about our true origins. Though happy in its innocence, humanity, as symbolized by Adam, needed to grow spiritually. Thus Eve was separated from the body of Adam.
Jehovah Elohim took one of the hermaphrodite man's ribs, then closed up the flesh. Then Jehovah Elohim made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the hermaphrodite man. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of the man.
This process of separation, presented symbolically in the Bible, was gradual. The human hermaphrodite was separated into 2 sexes, male and female, so that they may see themselves better, to know themselves. Since that time, man and woman have sought to reclaim their missing unity, which is the root of the craving for sexual connection.
For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And out of the ground made Jehovah Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
There are 2 trees that are given specific importance within the garden. These 2 trees are symbolic, not literal. The tree of life is an ancient symbol that is universal in meaning, and is found in all the cultures that have held the esoteric knowledge. This is the same tree that Moses found burning on Mount Sinai. This is the tree under which the Buddha Shakyamuni found enlightenment. This is the world tree of the Mayans, the tree of life of the Aztecs, the great Nordic tree, Yggdrasil, that supports existence in its powerful boughs. In the mystical tradition of Judaism, the science of the tree of life is called Kabbalah. But this wisdom is universal and can be found in every great religious tradition, although it appears under many names. The science of the tree of life is a map of the universe and of the human soul. Just as the tree of life maps the macrocosmos, the expansive universe, so too does it map the microcosmos, man, the reflection of the universe. Thus the wise recommendation etched in stone above the entrance to the famous oracle of Delphi.
Man, know thyself, and thou shalt know the universe and its gods.
The tree of life symbolizes the structure of the soul and the structure of creation. Its roots are in the highest realms, and its branches and leaves are all the worlds and the many beings that exist. This tree gives forth fruit, life, sustenance, and wisdom. In the Bible, Moses wrote that Adam and Eve were free to eat of the tree of life. This means that Adam and Eve were free to feed themselves with the science of the tree of life, the science of God, Kabbalah. And as the tree of life also symbolizes the soul, Adam and Eve, humanity, were allowed to enjoy the benefits of abiding in a state of perfection, with an awakened consciousness. A fully illuminated consciousness is represented in the tradition of the Christmas tree, a symbol of the tree of life as passed down through Germanic esoteric traditions. Possessing an illuminated tree of life within means that one's inner senses are fully opened and active, providing a direct relationship with God. Of this tree, Adam and Eve could freely eat. But there existed another tree in Eden, the tree of knowledge.
And Jehovah Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden you are free to eat, but as for the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you must not eat of it, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die.
It is clear that the tree of knowledge was forbidden to Adam and Eve, yet they were tempted by the one thing in all of paradise that was denied to them. Knowledge in Greek is gnosis, and in Hebrew, da'at. Da'at is the hidden sphere found in the Kabbalah, which traditionally is never spoken of or revealed. Da'at, gnosis, is the science of the great arcanum, that secret knowledge which has been hidden from humanity for ages. However, close examination of the use of the word knowledge in the Bible gives strong indications of the nature of da'at or gnosis.
Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son. The maiden was very beautiful, a virgin who no man had known.
It is clear to the observant reader that knowledge in the Bible relates to sexuality. Hence, the tree of knowledge, da'at, gnosis, is a direct reference to sexuality. What then is the purpose of this reference to sex and its role in the fate of Adam and Eve? When humanity was physically separated into two sexes, man and woman still carried within them the reflection of their Creator. Thus, within every male, there still exists a female aspect, and within every woman exists a male aspect. By this level of meaning, Adam and Eve symbolize the subtle energetic physiology of the individual. Adam and Eve as polarized energy are represented in the ancient symbol of the caduceus, popularly associated to the Greek god Hermes. The symbol of the caduceus is actually visible in the records of countless ancient cultures from around the world. The two serpents have always symbolized the masculine and feminine energetic channels that wind up the spinal column. As they are energetic, not physical, a scalpel will never find them. Their root is yasad, the foundation, the sexual organs, and they are fed by the sexual energy. These two channels of energy are called Ida and Pingala in Sanskrit. In the Kabbalah, they are called Od and Ob, and in esoteric Christianity, they are called Adam and Eve. In the Bible, they are also called the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. The two serpents wind up the spinal column of the physical body. The spine is most often symbolized by a staff or a rod. The spine is the staff of the master and the central column of the human temple. The column stands upon the foundation stone, yasad, the sexual energy. The spine has 33 vertebrae, symbolized by the 33 years of the life of Jesus of Nazareth and by the 33 degrees of the Masons. On either side of this rod, the spinal column, are two serpents. Pingala is the masculine aspect, Adam. Ida is the feminine aspect, Eve. It is the energy of Eve in our psyche that pushes for procreation. When Eve is tempted to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, this is a symbol of humanity desiring the fruit of sexuality, children. Until this time, humanity was not allowed to have children on their own. They were not allowed to eat that fruit.
And the serpent said to the woman, "You are not going to die, but the Elohim know that as soon as you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like divine beings who know good and bad."
Tempted by the serpent, human beings chose to procreate of their own will. In their innocence, however, they did not realize that the laws they were given were for their own good. Learning to procreate without the guidance of the Elohim led to the discovery of the orgasm.